Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Sunday League Pundits show. Something a little different this week. We are going to start by giving our sincere condolences and our thoughts and our best wishes to the friends and family of Kevin Campbell, who passed away this week. And Millwall have announced the death of a goalkeeper, Matthias Sarkic. I'm hoping I didn't butcher his name. Only 26.
Yeah.
And he's gone. And Kevin Campbell's only 54. And short illness, and he's no longer with us. Sad times, boys.
Indeed. And to Alan Hansen as well, who's seriously ill in hospital as well.
Yeah. Alan Hansen's not doing very well at all, from what I've heard.
No.
Sad times, boys. Sad times. And, yeah, not great. So that is our different but hopefully respectful beginning. So play the music. Welcome to the Sunday League Pundit show with myself, Stretch. On camera we have Jim Jam, appropriately wearing an England shirt, and off camera, wearing a golf shirt, it's Tin Ribs. Hi Tin Ribs.
How you doing?
Hello Jim Jam.
Hello.
How are we this week?
Great.
Good.
Good to hear.
Looking forward to the England game. That's already happened to those listening, but it's not happened for us yet.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen it, so you're going to be
Don't
listening
tell us.
to this pod. Don't tell us. So, yeah, you're going to be wondering, like, oh, the game was 2 days ago. Why have they not mentioned it? It doesn't start till 8, and it's currently
5 o'clock. 10 past.
Yeah, just past 5. So we don't know what the
Slovenia,
result is
Denmark
yet.
are currently playing at the moment at 0-0.
0-0. Right, so do we have a Jim Jam, the stat man, stat?
So I went with a couple. So I was trying to find somebody. I just thought, because it's the off-season, I thought, is there a player that's played for Southampton, Leeds and Arsenal? And unfortunately, I really struggled. Now, there's a player that played for Leeds and played for Arsenal, and he was signed as a goalkeeper for Southampton, but never made an appearance at all. So he was a third choice
Was Vito
keeper.
Manoni at Leeds at any point?
No. He's English.
John,
Stuart Taylor.
Stuart Taylor is the one.
I was about to say Big John, but okay.
Yeah, so it was Stuart Taylor was the one. I suppose Ben White was close because he was in our academy youth, but obviously got released and went on to Brighton. So, but no, I couldn't find anybody that had actually done it, which I thought was quite strange.
That's because you never go down.
Oh,
That's why there's
That's
plenty
harsh.
of Arsenal.
yeah, but you can go up.
It's not
You
what
can
Teddy
start at
Sheringham
Southampton
thought.
and make your way through. But then we've just had a very quick goal in the Euros yesterday in the Albania game.
Was it
Barami,
30,
23
23
23 seconds. But I think the thing that surprised me was the old record, which was Kirichenko, Russia, in 2004. 67 seconds. Which seems quite a long time when you think about other records, like the Premier League record being 7.69 seconds, Shane Long, Champions League, McKay, which was 10.12 seconds. Hakan Suka in the World Cup is 11 seconds for Turkey.
Haven't England conceded in like 10 seconds against San Marino as well?
Something like that. And the world record for professional football is Gavin Stokes in 2.1 seconds, which is in the Scottish...
That's just straight from kickoff.
Scottish, yeah, straight from kickoff in 2017 is what they recognise as the quickest goal. So
Were
I
you in
thought
net
that...
for him, Tin Ribs?
Probably.
So I thought that 67 seconds was quite a
It's quite
a lot
long,
on
isn't it?
time,
Yeah.
and when you consider there's been quite a few goals under 10 seconds in the Premier League and all over the
Well, we conceded
World in
one against
games.
Bournemouth not long ago. Pretty much straight from kickoff.
Philip Billing, yeah, he was second. He beat Ledley King's
Yeah, just
record,
passed it to
but,
the right,
but
ran,
Shane Long
crossed
had it.
goal.
Which cup was it that was it Di Matteo hit that?
Oh, yeah.
Massively
That was
long.
the FA
I think
Cup.
that's the
Yeah.
fastest in the FA
Like
Cup, unless it got
6.5
beaten.
seconds or something. Fucking shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I
It's
still
a
remember
good
that
goal as well.
I remember that goal. It's class.
Very good goal. To be
Yeah.
fair to him, it was a very good finish. Quite a bit of news this week, even without the Euros. Branthwaite, have
Yeah.
you heard?
No.
Man United.
Good
Yeah.
signing for them.
They reckon that the contracts are all signed and sealed.
Well,
It's
considering
just trying to work
Everton
out
have
the
got pots
transfer.
of piss in, they probably need the money.
They're trying to hold out for more money.
I think him not going to Euros has probably cost them money.
100%.
Because if he'd have
It
played
is
games in the
definitely cost
Euros,
them money.
and they can work on a deal now because he's not at the Euros as well.
And Man United know they're desperate for money, so they're going to knock millions off the asking price. Because by all accounts, Everton are wanting 70, and Man United are willing to go to sort of 45, maybe 50.
Now, I know there's a player that got linked with Arsenal that Villa have got to sell, which seems such a shame considering the season they had.
Louise.
Douglas
Douglas Louise.
Douglas Luiz. Now, it looks like he's going Juventus, but it's a package deal. Because there's another player that has to be involved in the transfer as well.
Alicia Lehman.
Alicia Lehman, his girlfriend,
Seriously.
is being tipped to join Juventus as well. He wants her to come over to Juventus with him. So, and it was written in the news report. I mean, it's probably bullshit, like most news reports are, but you could half believe it, though, couldn't you?
Oh, 100% believe it. Because people are daft enough, especially footballers. They make that much money and they're that detached from reality. I could well imagine that. Oh, Jesus, sorry.
I mean, thing is,
But-
though, right?
Jesus.
Didn't they,
Sorry.
when they first moved to Aston Villa, like, fall out, break up, and then it was sort of like the whole thing of, like, she was going to leave or something, and then they got back together, then they broke up again.
I
And it's
don't
like,
listen to any of that, so I don't
I
know.
think they've been on
Yeah.
and off for, like, 4 years or whatever. And it's sort of like, they're putting a lot of effort in to stay together, and they'll probably fall out within, like, 10 minutes of being
I just
intimate.
thought it was an interesting
is-
piece of transfer news.
Did you watch that documentary on the West Ham women's team with
No.
young Sullivan in charge of them?
No.
Well, she was a lesbian then. She got a girlfriend that she was living with.
Yeah.
Make your mind up. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I just thought, I don't know if that's ever happened before a couple's transfer. It'd be a new one, I think.
It's not something I've ever heard of, but I mean, it seems a little sad.
Yeah. You've been linked with another player as well, Williams, in the Spanish.
Nico
Team,
Williams, I'm
yeah.
actually not disappointed about that. I think he's
Yeah.
a good player.
Quite a lot of, not many goals, but quite a lot of assists
Mm.
as well. So I think it was 25 goal contributions in La Liga. So not too bad.
I'm quite happy to be linked with him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think it's a good signing, or would be. Have you have you heard about Tottenham and their record signing of 63 million is Tanguy Ndombele. They're going to release him for free at the end of his contract because they can't do anything with him. Nobody wants him, so 63 million and he's going for free.
I'd take him on a free transfer at Southampton. I think he'd do a good job there. But I think his wages are...
I was
Do it
just about to
s-
say, I think he'd do a great job for you, but he'd cost you.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're willing to do that sort of deal.
Nah, you're on a level of sort of Man City buying Mbappe. They can do it, but just ridiculous wages.
Yeah.
And Ndombele would try and bankrupt you, I think. He'd want a
Yeah,
ridiculous
it's-
amount of money,
I think that's,
which is a shame, really.
but that's one of the reasons that a lot of these players that are free don't have interested clubs because they
Wages.
want wages. They want exceptional. Like, so a lot of the reason the Leeds players that mass exodused out at the start of last season did so was because they had release clauses for loans, but they didn't want to take the huge wage cut that they'd have to take, which brings in the main news at the moment. Aronson has stated he's got unfinished business and does not want to go out on loan again. He wants to stay, take the pay cut, and earn his place. So that's an interesting...
You can't ask for more than that, though, can you?
Things look strong for Leeds, so all the transfer talk looks more in a positive direction for the players staying. So, at least, anyway.
The one that interested me was Llorente's in talks with Roma, and they want to make the deal done for 5 million. Apparently, if we can get the 5 million over the line, we can spend the 12 million for Rodon, because obviously you're reducing the fee, and also Llorente's wages are insane. Then you've got Mark Roca. He doesn't want to play for us, so let him go. And apparently, who was he on loan at? I forgot who was on loan at now. But they want him on loan again. But we're sort of saying, no, you can have him at a cost price. We just don't want him. So that's up in the air, but possible. You've got Woba, who is potentially coming back. Christensen, who's potentially coming back. Harrison is a bit in the air, but if he comes back, he's got to take his cut wages. And at the moment, fucking Everton haven't got a pot to piss in, so they can't afford him.
I don't think they can afford anything, can they?
And then another huge rumour is, I think it's AC Milan, want Nonto. 19 million is the fee that's been touted.
What did you get him for?
3.5. I think it worked out about 4.2 with add-ons.
I think with his attitude at times, see you later.
I'd take 19 for him.
Well, the beauty of it is, Somerville is being touted 30 to 70 million in that bracket, and apparently Leeds are holding that for 45-50. We paid 1.5 for him.
It's looking good financially for Leeds, isn't it?
So that's why a lot of this, us looking at buying players, is so positive, because a lot of the people that we're looking to offload is just money in the bank.
Yeah.
Big profits. And one rumour that if it's true, I'll drive up to Leeds, pick him up and drive him to Notts Forest, and that's Bamford. Apparently he might be going to Notts Forest.
There's me thinking he was your favourite player.
I think for me, Forest have got enough strikers anyway, probably. And I'm already on the way. I could pick it, taking Shea Adams there.
Are you driving Shea up, are you? Get rid of him.
Yeah. I mean, there's better players out there. I mean...
Well, you got Armstrong for a start.
We've got Armstrong, but if I want a striker, I want one back, it's Brozier. I would be quite happy with him signing.
Do you reckon it's going to happen?
No.
Not confident about it at all, then?
No, there's not been many talks about it at the moment. We're linked with the guy that's been released by Brentford, the Iranian. Can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. I'll have to have a look in a bit. But obviously Lallana's over the line now, so 1 year
Brentford
contract.
Released
There's
him
nothing.
Already.
He'll pretty much be released, yeah. I'm going to say like Kudos or something like that.
I don't know.
Kudos. He's Iranian anyway. But no, so Lallana, 1 year contract. I think that's...
Is it Saman
good.
Godos?
That's the one, yeah.
Will leave on 30th of June once their contracts expire. You've got Sandon Baptiste, Saman Godos, and Charlie Good.
Yeah.
That have all been released by Brentford.
Yeah. So he's got the experience. He's not really done anything there from what I can see stat-wise. So I'm up in arms whether or not that's a good signing. I'd like more. Obviously, we're linked with Rodon.
Yeah, sure.
But a lot of clubs are linked with Rodon as well, so it depends. And it's Premier League as well, so it depends what he wants. he probably could go to Leeds because, like you say, if they are keeping the players that they can keep hold of, they should be favourites this time, because I think the teams that have gone down are probably worse than it was when Leeds, Southampton, Leicester went down.
Yeah.
For the 3 teams that are promoted to all get relegated just in the same season, doesn't really bode very well for the Championship? Or is that just me being unfair?
I'm going to say one thing about that.
Yep.
I don't think this has happened before where they've gone up and come back down as a 3.
I think
It
it
probably
has, but it
has
was a
happened,
long,
but
long
it was a
time
while
ago.
ago.
Yeah, but you usually get that one breakaway team who do okay.
Yeah.
But this year, the 3 teams that came up, Burnley, as we said, I didn't realise they'd spent quite as much as they did, but they didn't really buy anyone that you would go, okay, he's a quality player or he's a solid mainstay in the Premiership. They sort of bought youth, they brought in prospects. And
Yeah.
we've learned many times that a team of prospects doesn't always bode well. Luton had no money to spend,
No, nothing.
and considering they did well.
I think they're going to be like a Blackpool. They've had the day out.
Yeah,
They're-
I mean,
They're
I hope
done.
not, but I think
It's just you.
It,
It was
depends
a
what happens
surprise
with the
that they got up.
Exodus.
Hmm.
It was a surprise that they got up there in the first place. Like I say, they've had the. Are we going to go back up?
Same with
You're
like
not
Hull,
putting them in.
Hull, Blackpool, teams like that. They get up, they have a season or 2 at most, and then they drop down and you don't see him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you got Sheffield United, and they didn't really set the world alight, did they? You
Not
tend
at
to
all.
find,
They were awful.
yeah, but if you're going to go up, you need to invest in players who.
Well,
are
even
going to make a
Luton
difference.
got Ross Barkley,
Yeah.
Anton Townsend, and they had Sambila Conga from Arsenal on
But
loan.
keep in
So
mind-
they tried.
Yeah, absolutely, but they were freebies.
Of course they were.
So
But they still did the right thing by
Absolutely.
signing players that are used to the Premier League and have been in the Premier League, whereas Sheffield United just didn't try anything.
they did. They
just-
tried to set a new record for lowest points gained.
Harsh, but
Ah.
probably fair.
Going up this year, I think after the first 10 games, I would like to be on at least 12 points.
After 10 games.
After 10 games, I'd want to be on at least 12 points.
I don't think that's a lot to ask, if I'm honest. I think
That's an ambitious 12, but you know, it's
not really. It's only 1.2 points a game.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough league, and it depends on the start that we get. You know, we know that we've gone up. We are going to be facing a team that are in the top 4 most likely, because that's how it always works. The teams that get promoted get drawn against the teams that are that, because
But you're playing the first
there's
game of the season.
algorithms, isn't there?
You can always catch them out first game of the season.
Yeah.
It's always a possibility. You know, if your guys go into the season really revved up, they could catch Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, United. You could catch any of them on a bad day.
It would not surprise me if the first game of the season is Arsenal Southampton at Arsenal.
I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't want to go to St Mary's first game of the season, but I wouldn't mind being at the
And I reckon that Ipswich will face Manchester City first game of the season.
That would be rough. That'd be harsh, that would.
Because
But
there's
we've got
certain
to play them at some point,
algorithms,
haven't
isn't there?
Yeah.
There's they do fix the fixtures, like there's got to be a TV game
Champions
on the,
v Champions.
Yeah, so they've got to have a derby at
We had that.
least on the second game of the season, just for Sky Sports. So Sky have a lot to do with the fixtures. I always thought it was like goes into a computer and it's randomised, but it's not as random as it normally should be.
Not even close. Because TV takes over. They pay that much for the rights that they then have the right to pretty much do whatever they want. How many times during the season do you hear such and such has been changed due to
Yeah, that was a
I
hard
reckon-
television coverage?
So my other prediction will be, I reckon that Leeds will be the first game of the season on the Friday night.
I think that's pretty much a given, really.
Because it was
'Cause they're
obviously
gonna want-
us last year.
Well,
I
they're
think
gonna
it'll
want
be you this year.
the pull of
Because
Leeds
yeah,
to kick the championship off, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Pretty basic, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care, but I would put Leeds on.
it
Just
wouldn't
because.
surprise me if it's. Should we even go out there and say it might even be a Yorkshire derby of some sort?
That'd be interesting for first game of the season. Make a good game.
That'll be a great game.
Yeah.
Make a really good game, especially the first one. Nobody's going to want to lose the first game, especially if it's a local derby.
Yeah. So like a Leeds Sheffield Wednesday or something like that.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Sheffield United, first game of the season.
I don't think
Yes.
they do the relegated club against the team that's lost in the playoffs as part of
guess
their
we'll find
algorithm.
out.
It'd be a cracking first game of the season,
Will be a
though.
good game. Will be a good game. It'd be a good test for Leeds as well. Because Sheffield United have been spanked all season. So you
I
would
will
fully
say
expect Leeds to go in
one
and
thing,
win it.
though, with the game that's currently going on, I've got to say, Denmark are winning 1-0, and it was scored by Christian Eriksen, so he's definitely having a better Euros this time.
Wow.
So, going on the Leeds.
I
Just
actually like Ericsson.
Yeah, I like him as well, so I'm glad that he pulled through and he's still playing football at a high level as well.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him.
So, just to sort of, I haven't done a deep dive, but as of March 22nd, right, this was last season, March 22nd,
Yeah.
Leeds United had been televised 31 times. We only played 46 fucking games.
Oh, is it the games, not just the court cases and stuff that have been televised?
But yeah, apparently Sky have announced it was going to broadcast their game against Middlesbrough. So obviously this was before the end of the season, and they'd already been televised 31 times.
Yeah.
That's mad, really, isn't it?
Remember when I said we were getting fucked over by the FA in those 3 games where the ref just missed blatant shit? And I actually said it's because the FA don't want us going up because we're their fucking cash cow. There's a good bit of conspiracy proof.
And there's more games as well next year. They've got more games in the Championship. Some even coming back to ITV as well, which, bravo. They're doing a Championship game on terrestrial television, which is long overdue.
This is a better way to put it. Right. One of my mates, Christian Eriksen, is a true influential person. 4 years ago, he died on the pitch doing what he loved. He never gave up, recovering, and just scored the first goal for his country. Kids, take note of who your attention should be focused on. Fair play.
Yeah,
I agree.
I totally
absolutely.
agree. Rather than having a better Euros this time than last time, isn't he?
Jesus.
Well, it was just a different way of putting what that one just said.
Yeah, just very different. Very different.
Yeah.
Thiago Motta, by the way. Have you heard about him?
Nope.
Just been hired as Juve manager.
Yes, I did see that one.
What do we make of that?
Interesting.
Doesn't really mean a lot to me. I don't really know much of his credentials.
I don't think Juventus do. There's not much there to look at, is there?
No.
He was playing not long ago. It's like another Mikel Arteta thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't.
where you're just
really...
taking on a novice.
Which is weird. I mean, the old lady's one of the biggest teams in the world. It's strange that they've sort of took a punt on a
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's shown something in.
Well, it's not even
background
that.
just,
The way I look at it is, look at Bayern Munich.
yeah.
They've had no choice but to, we'll go the next one. Or we'll try the next one. Try the next one.
Yeah.
Try the next
Do you
They've
think
all
it might
rejected
also
us.
be the fact that if you sort of look at the highest sort of rated managers at the moment, Edwards, McKenna, stuff like that, they're all young. Maybe they're sort of like moving away from the Hodgsons and the Angelottis. You know, they're sort of looking and going, okay, they've had the time.
Well, they definitely are.
And they're all sort of
Definitely
looking
are
young now.
Yeah.
And it just seems that we're going to see a lot of unheard of managers starting to make their way, and I think it'll be not long before the likes of, I don't know, who's a good example? Oh, let's just go with McKenna taking over at like Man City or Man United or something, and they will become the new Alex Fergusons, the new Wengers, because at the end of the day, what you got to remember is the likes of Ferguson, Wenger, they were young lads. Brian Clough was a young lad.
Yeah.
At some point.
They were unknown.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's just
They were just well known when we started watching football.
Yeah, pretty much.
So De Zerbi's got a job as well now.
De Zerbi's got a job.
I can't remember where it was off the top of my head.
Did he not go to... It's not Chelsea, is it?
no.
Bruce, no, not Borussia Dortmund. Has he gone?
I don't know, but the Chelsea job went to the arrogant prick from Leicester, didn't he?
Oh, the guy that
It
you were moaning
completely
about.
jumped out my head who he went to. De Zerbi.
It says here...
Well,
It just says he was most recently the manager of Premier League club Brighton and Hove Albion.
So going on the young thing again, Brighton have given Fabian Herzella a job.
Yeah, I saw that.
31 years old.
So that's young again. It's all to do with their scouting network, isn't it? And their
Absolutely.
black box, which hasn't done them wrong so far.
Marseille.
Marseille, that was the one. Yeah.
According to this, he's not actually in work.
No,
Just
it
read
was
a thing about
Marseille.
Marseille.
He's gone to
planning,
Marseille.
Yeah, planning their transfer plans. Marseille.
Okay, just as
Yeah.
De Zerbi left Brighton at the end of the season and he failed to get the United or the Chelsea job.
No, I just literally read a thing from 5 hours ago and it said that he's working.
You see, now, when I saw it, they were like, oh, it's a downward step going from going from Brighton to Marseille. Now, I don't know about
Is it?
you, but I see Marseille as still a big club in France, you know. We've heard
I would
of
say
them.
Marseille are more likely to play Champions League than Brighton are.
Absolutely. You know, we've known players that have gone on over to Marseille. You know, Payet was over there.
Chris Waddle, years ago.
Yeah. Joey Barton had a time
What
over
was
there.
that? Them interviews
Yeah.
were shocking. That was the
But-
worst thing I've heard.
But if you were going to name of the French teams, Marseille's probably one of the ones
would
that you're
say
going to
so.
say.
Yeah, I
Whereas
think they'd be in everybody's top four.
People abroad, are they going to say Brighton as a team? Not everybody's going to have heard of them.
Well, you'll go through the obvious sort of 7 or 8 first, won't you?
Yeah.
I don't think Brighton are in that. To be fair, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I just don't think they're in it.
No, like Southampton are not going to be in it, like on this table. Arsenal are going to be heard of. Leeds are going to be heard of.
Yeah, sort of. Only for the
Hey,
trouble
we're
with
that
those.
famous that there's even a saying in South Korea of having your Leeds Day. And it refers to the period of time when we're in the Champions League and it had a massive decline. So it's sort of like your best days are behind you. Seriously?
I like that.
Leeds Day, is that similar to like we have Remembrance Day now?
No, it literally means it's like no, you say
You've peaked.
my glory days are behind me. The Koreans have it about Leeds. I thought my mate was joking when he told me that. I thought he was taking the piss. Turns out, genuine. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
Brilliant.
Leeds Day.
So in South Korea, we are like a phrase for you've peaked and now you're on your decline.
Fair.
I like
Fair,
that.
I'll go with that. I quite
like
like that. I might start using that myself.
My Leeds days.
I've had my Leeds Day now. All downhill. I think my Leeds Day was about 15 years ago, if I'm honest. But there you go. Right, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to go to break. And then when we come back, we're going to hit the Euros. And more importantly, a game that's about to start in 2.5 hours, 2 hours,
Yeah.
20 minutes or so. So, again, for those listening, we don't know the England result yet because it's not been on. So, if you're wondering why we haven't been very happy or really annoyed, that's why. It's not been on yet.
And because Gareth Southgate's our manager, we better not predict the result because anything could happen.
Yeah, so well done for England drawing 2-2 in the first game of the Euros. If it is now, I'm going to be really upset. Right, we're going to break and we shall see you shortly. Hello and welcome back from the break to Sunday League Pundits Show, episode 34. Now, the Euros have just started 2 days ago. We've had a few games. And I haven't managed to watch any of them yet.
You scumbag.
I've been busy.
I've missed
Slacker.
I missed the first half of the Germany-Scotland game because I was on my way back from football.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've watched all of it up until the Denmark-Slovenia game that's currently going on right now.
That's because we're recording the pod.
Yes.
And
It is on the phone, but
that's-
I'm not paying much attention to it.
That's the first Euros game I've watched because we've just watched 5 minutes and 40 seconds of it to finish the first half off. So I did watch the end of the first half of that.
Yeah, so if I'm looking down on to those on camera, it's because I might be looking at the phone.
I like the way he describes
Yeah.
it as I look down as the people that are watching on camera. It's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
Always thought he
Well, what
thought
they
he was
don't
better
know
than
is
the rest of us.
the camera's up there.
Yeah, my camera's at basically at eye level. His is way up yonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. But so Germany absolutely destroyed Scotland as expected.
You say that. Do you want to just shut that window, mate? My neighbours have just got a dog. It won't shut up. That's not even helped that much, has it? I'll try and do something and edit and see whether it helps. They've just got a dog and it will not shut up. It's a little annoying,
Yeah.
but there you go. Scotland didn't really help themselves.
By celebrating a corner, was it?
Well, I was thinking more
Something
of the
like that.
two-footed challenge in the area.
Yeah, that was...
Porteous. Definite red.
I don't understand why there was any argument about that. It was a
Yeah.
Stonewall red, Stonewall penalty, job's a good one.
I think first half, Che Adams had 13 touches up front or something like that, I think it was.
More than I thought he'd have.
Yeah. But no, Germany were very
Dominant.
good. They were dominant.
Very, very good. Very good. And as much as I hate to admit it, Germany are looking like a very good team.
Yeah.
They're looking like they play well together. Like
Yeah.
they know what everyone's doing. Like they're well gelled.
Even like when they bring players off the bench, it's like they've got some quality on the bench as well.
Again, just slide straight in. They know their job. They know where everyone else is. Just looks easy.
I would say that Scotland are going to... I know that they may do a job against Hungary, maybe, depending, but I still think Hungary are probably going to win that one anyway, but that's Scotland's best chance of getting anything.
Didn't Scotland lose a few players before the Euro started? They had a couple of injuries and a couple had to back out, didn't they?
I think
So,
so, but it's
not
not
only
like...
are they quite a weak nation anyway, but then to have some of what would have been your first teamers drop out or get injured, it's only going to make it 10
we
times
established
harder.
when we were putting a best ever Scottish team together that how difficult it actually is to put a team together.
And very few of them were from recent times.
Yeah.
Most of them were from years ago.
No, we put in a few.
There's a couple. McTominay, I think, was in
Yeah.
at least mine and
Robertson.
his. I can't think of any others.
Yeah.
The rest were all from a long time ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so as it went. Now, the thing that I've liked, and it's happened for couple of games as well, VAR has been really quick. Like offsides, brilliant. It's dead quick. You see it on the telly and you make a decision. You're like, oh, that's going to be onside, and literally the decision is pretty much quick after you see the replay on the telly.
Okay, hang on. I just want to interject here. Obviously, you've not watched the game, but have you watched any highlights?
No.
Okay. So there was a penalty in the Spain game, which the guy gets the smallest of touch, which never even put you off canter.
Yeah.
He then plants both feet firmly on the ground and then dives. He literally plants feet, throws himself to the floor.
Okay.
I'm yet to see anyone defend it, right? This is given as a penalty. It goes to VAR. VAR take more than what is needed to go, fuck me, just dived. And then give the penalty. It's the only decision of the whole tournament anybody has gone, that's wrong. English.
Yeah.
The refs were English. They were our representatives.
It just goes to show that we can't use VAR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
We're not good
hilarious.
enough.
And it is right. I looked at him and went, oh, it's a dive. That's going to get overturned. And then when it didn't, it was like, I was really, really confused. Now, they say that there was a touch, but if the touch was...
The VAR were English as well.
But
Yeah, it was
if the touch was
Jesus
accidental
Christ.
and Rodri didn't make a play for the ball, it should have been a red card. I know it's the double jeopardy rule, but it doesn't count if it's an accidental touch, which is so harsh.
It was...
Anyway, but for me, it was a dive, and I was more debating. I wonder if they'll book the player for diving. That's what I was expecting, but the VAR did get the decision right after the penalty was saved for the encroachment, which again I thought it was quite quick, and so. And it was a good game. I mean, that one was Spain 3, Croatia 0. Spain looked quite good going forward. Croatia had the chances, they just didn't take them. And what amazes me is like the Spanish right winger, Yamal, I think it is, 16 years old. So you know when you said the other week about giving the Arsenal striker in your youth team a chance as he fits 16 as well.
GBOB.
Absolutely, this guy's playing for Barcelona, and
He, by the way, has rejected a contract from Arsenal and maybe going to Bayern Munich.
wow, you're a bit gutted about that then.
Very. I'd have tried him last season. I guarantee if he'd have got in the first team last season, even towards the end of the season, for 10 minutes here and there, he'd have signed a contract.
Yeah. That's a bit of a blow to you. But
Massive.
he didn't look out of place at 16. Now, I know that Theo Walcott went quite young, but didn't feature at all, which
16.
was no point him
No
going
point.
at all.
Because if you remember, during that tournament, Rooney got injured.
Yeah.
And rather than bringing Walcott on, which was the correct choice, if you're going to take him, use him.
Yeah.
He didn't.
So, but I just thought he stood out and doesn't look out of place, even though he's 16. Great stuff. We need to.
But with that
More
said,
players.
didn't the Spanish give Fernando Torres his tournament debut at like 16 as well?
Yeah. Spain gave Fabregas his debut as soon as he hit 16, because they were worried that England were going to poach him because he was eligible. He'd have never played for England. He said, I'm Spanish and that's it. But Spain got a bit worried about it and played him straight away.
Well, in the build-up to the Spanish game, they were absolutely slatering Cucurella. Like, why is he in the team? It should have been Grimaldi, I think it is, who's been playing well at Benfica, I think it is. Literally, that guy in the first half, wow, he played like a man possessed. I mean, Croatia had a great chance to score. They played a pass across the box and the player just had to pretty much boot it. I think he should have hit it into the roof of the net, really, but he played it a bit lower. And Cucurella just come sliding across and made the block, and it was like, wow, he actually played quite well at left back. I know he did okay at Chelsea towards the back end of the season, but I know that this is during a time where Chelsea have overpaid for a lot of players that they sign.
One or two.
Because somebody gets linked with it. I wonder if that'll happen this summer as well.
Probably.
Somebody gets linked to a player, Chelsea go out, pay 20 million more.
I'm going on a sort of another thing that's going on right now. Man United are trying to sign some Scandinavian player, and they've
Yeah, I didn't want to
banged.
mention it last week.
Yeah.
But obviously they paid. What was it? How much was it? 18 million for Anthony.
79, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So who overpays more, Man United or Chelsea?
Oh.
Oh, Sporting midfielder Morten
Yeah.
Hjormland.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So my question is, do these people see Man United come in and go, oh, it's coming in for another Scandinavian player who's never played at the high level? 100 million.
I think they do that with Chelsea as well because they know
Yeah.
Todd Bowley hasn't got a clue.
But I'm just wondering, who do you think wastes more money? Because Man United have paid.
I'd say Man
excessive
United at the
amounts.
moment because they've paid a lot of money for a few players where Chelsea have bought quite young, so potentially in a few years' time they may have got it right. I mean, we sold him Romeo Lavia, absolute bargain because he only played like one game or something for him last season and
What,
injury and
54
stuff.
million or something.
Something like that. So we took a nice chunk of change, basically a 1 year profit like Lee's done. I know we overpaid for him for Man City, really. I think we paid like 15 million for him, but when you sell him for like 40 odd, it's a good bit of
It's not bad at
business for
Not bad at
1
all.
year for us.
all. To be fair, it's a good player.
So
He just was injured the whole season.
we talked about the third game. So the second game was Hungary 1, Switzerland 3. Switzerland should have scored a lot more. They weren't crucial. They weren't clinical with the chances, and even at the end, they took it round the keeper, and they didn't score that chance. But then they did score one late on, which was a good finish from them. Switzerland looked okay. Hungary looked poor. I expected a lot more from them. They did start knocking on the door in the second half a bit, and Switzerland turned off.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about England, and we'll go into it a little bit more, I'm sure, after we've gone through all the games. But the defences have looked very poor. Across the tournament, there's been a lot of goals so far, which is great
I was
for
gonna say,
watching.
I haven't watched the games,
But-
but looking at the results,
There's
been a lot of goals.
There's been a lot of goals. So Italy won 2-1 against Albania. Albania, obviously, we mentioned earlier on, scored the quickest goal after 23 seconds.
Yeah.
But Italy 2-1 against Albania, I mean, I would have
poor.
expected a lot higher
know-
result on that one.
Just a quick one. We have a fantasy league going. Part of that fantasy league is a predictions thing.
Yeah.
I had Italy Albania down as 1-1 in my prediction.
Not far off.
Not a bad
That was
shout.
pretty
I mean,
close.
the Italy side that we've got now is not the Italy side that we've had for our.
Can you
Last one.
imagine, right, the likes of Cannavaro sat watching Italy now? Must be ashamed.
Interesting that you say ashamed. So we'll go to a different one. Ronaldinho, heard what he's come out and...
Right, what I would like
said.
to do is I'd like to quote that. 'Cause
Okay,
that
so
is-
while he's looking for that, I'll mention the game that was on this afternoon. So it was Poland versus Netherlands. What game? I thought that was a good game of football, and Netherlands just sneaked it at the end. But I thought Poland did quite well considering they were without Lewandowski as well.
Yeah.
Took an early lead, good header, poor marking from Frimpong and Van Dijk. I thought that Van Dijk was caught out quite a little bit, and I think that the fact that Poland didn't score had a lot more to do with his partner, De Vrij, I think it is. Might have butchered his name a bit there. Stefan. Shall I say Stefan instead? Use his first name.
Yeah.
I might get that one right. But overall, Netherlands came out on top. Martin Keown bit disrespectful on commentary. He said Holland a lot. Now, I know that they've not been Holland for a long time, have they?
Yeah.
And it is the Netherlands, but he constantly kept saying Holland, Holland, Holland.
I don't really think it's Holland, Netherlands. It all means the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't really use it, though, do they, Holland, anymore? it's more apart.
Yeah, but we say Germany and they say Deutschland.
Yeah,
They
maybe.
They don't identify as Holland anymore.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Espanol.
but no, I thought that was a good game.
Yeah.
Don't know what you've thought of games because I know you've watched as much as I have, so
I thought that game was really good.
you can talk. We know you haven't watched
I
it.
didn't watch it.
I actually really enjoyed the Poland game. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It was good. Like the Spain game. Yeah. So they're the two best games for me so far. I think that they were.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would have liked to have watched the Scotland game from start to finish. I've got 2 quotes from Ronaldinho this week. One, I'm going to say this one first because it's me. Ronaldinho on Gabriel Martinelli. He reminds me of Ronaldo. His first season in Europe, he scored 30 goals, and people were thinking, who is this 18-year-old Brazilian kid? He wanted the ball. He would run at players. There was no fear, no matter what players or team he was playing against. And I see that similar attitude in Martinelli. He just wants to be on the ball and score goals. Ronaldo went on to be the best player in the world, and that can also be the aim of Martinelli. Not sure if I agree with that completely, but I do think he's a great player. This one took me by surprise somewhat, not going to lie. Ronaldinho. That's it, guys. I will not watch any Brazil game at the Copa America, nor celebrate any victory. I've had enough. It's a sad moment for those who love Brazilian football. It's hard now to find the spirit to watch the games. It's one of the worst teams in the recent years. No respectable leaders, only average players for the majority. I've never seen a situation as bad as this. Lack of love for the Brazil shirt and lack of football. Our performance has been one of the worst things I have ever seen. It's such a shame. That is rough from potentially one of your greatest ever footballers.
Yeah.
That's cutting.
I think it's a bit harsh as well, because I think Brazil have been poor at times. I think
agree.
they had a bad game in the World Cup, was it? They conceded a few goals.
Are you on about the 7-1 against Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was a
bad.
pretty bad time for them. But they've probably still got good players, just because they can't always have the best players. But that's not to do with the side that he's got picked, unless he's picking the wrong players. But
I think he sounds pretty unhappy.
if he's unhappy about it, why doesn't he go into coaching? He could probably do a job and work with some of the up-and-coming kids or whatever.
I've seen him in these charity games. I bet he could
still got
play.
it.
Just incredible. But
he's not the only one that said something a bit daft this week. I think Mbappe lost the plot a bit as well.
I haven't heard anything about
And
Mbappe.
He was on about how the Euros is a harder competition to win than the World Cup.
Is that because there's so many more
It's
teams in it?
complicated. Although he says it's more complicated or something like that. And he's like, because the teams are playing each other all the time, and the fact that when the Copa America, they haven't got as many games to play like at the top level, even though that most of the teams that have won have been like Brazil, Argentina and stuff. And he was like, and that's why he's saying the Europeans are dominating the World Cups.
Yeah. So
And I don't think that that's a thing too much.
I don't think I saved it, which is now going to bite me in the ass. But there was someone put a post up on this, and it was on the whole Mbappe saying, "Oh, it's harder than the Euros," and they literally pointed out every year that the winner of the Euros got knocked out by one of the teams from the Copa America.
Yeah.
In the next World Cup. So it's like, oh, Portugal won, blah, blah, blah. They were knocked out by Uruguay. And then it's like, and it's literally, it just destroys his entire argument
Yeah.
by pointing out that every time they've had a winner, They just got battered by someone else from South America.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
and it's like they showed a table of where Costa Rica won the group,
I think that's
where
insanity.
England got knocked
That's
out,
absolute insanity.
and it's
I
like,
think,
and they did loads of them, and it's like,
kids, you can have too much money. It's as simple as that. You
Yeah.
can
and this
have
is
too
a
much
guy
money.
that kids are worshipping nowadays.
And he has lost the plot.
Seriously, kids, go out and find a new idol. Don't know who it is, but I'm sure there's somebody else out there
I don't
that's
care who it is, as long as they don't spout stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
shocking.
saved it.
it is.
I didn't save it.
I'm struggling with that. Jesus Christ.
So
mean-
the next game is going to be England. So we're going to talk about the lineup. So it looks like Trent's going to play in midfield, which I'm kind of all for. But what it kind of means is somebody's going to be playing out of position. It's either going to be Cole Palmer or Phil Foden is going to be pushed out to the left wing.
Or just not played.
Or just not played. Because he's probably going to stick with Saka.
Yeah,
Because we know Southgate plays his mates, the same as Arteta. Kane,
yeah,
Saka. You know Bellingham's in.
yeah.
Now we know Trent is DM.
Alongside Rice.
Is it though? Or is Rice going to miss out for Foden or Palmer? Foden, I imagine, is going to go on the left because he's stupid enough to not put Gordon there and play Foden over him, even though Foden doesn't play left for City.
Yeah.
But then it's the same as people constantly telling me online, if you're one of these people, you're a moron, right? Palmer's going to play ahead of Saka. Two different positions.
Guess what just got
Yeah.
announced?
Palmer plays
Is it the England
I
team?
think it's the line.
attacking mid. Saka plays
Oh,
right
it's
mid.
predicted. Sorry.
Two different positions. Is it possible lineup or is it?
Yeah, it's a predicted one. Sorry, I missed the head title.
So we imagine Pickford,
That's a given.
Trippier.
Absolutely, he
Stones.
should be there. If Stones is fit, I wouldn't play him.
You wouldn't? Who would you put?
I'd play Gay and Conser for this one.
I think it's going to be Stones and
I think Stones will, but I'm not convinced he's 100% fit.
it's not stopped Southgate before though. I'm trying to put my mind as Southgate would. And then
Bang your
Walker's
head
obviously
hard
going to be
off
on the
table.
right.
And you,
Trent DM.
Yeah. Price.
Is it predicted?
that's the predicted, and it's pretty much what we're going to say.
Yeah.
Pickford, Trippier, Gahey, Stones, Walker. Oh, Alexander Arnold and Declan Rice as DM because obviously playing. We need to be that defensive.
Yeah.
Saka on the right, Foden on the left, Bellingham attacking mid and Kane up front. So that's virtually what I was going to say. But I would have had Rice and Bellingham both.
Yeah,
as
but I think
attacking
that
midfield.
allows. But Trent can also go up as well. So I think having them lined up there allows whichever one goes forward,
the other one,
the other
stays
one
back.
comes back. A bit like when Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice were playing, because both of them like to go forward, and they just whichever one went forward, the other one stayed back.
I would like to make a point. I'm not totally against Trent being a DM because I think he's great at it. But I would complain if he was right back because he can't defend.
Yeah,
But again, do you want a DM, defensive midfielder, that can't defend?
Right. I'm just going to
Rice
say.
gets his foot in
Yeah.
and he stops attacks and he gets in the way.
So I think personally, this is completely the wrong lineup for this kind of game.
I would agree.
We're looking at a team that we should well and
Smash.
truly romp. So for me, I'd be looking at the likes of Eze because he's fast. And I
On the
mean,
left.
yeah,
so if you look at your lesser teams, right? If you hit them with pace, you're going to create space and score goals. When you start playing your more professional teams, and I use that in the sense of like, for example, San Marino are not a professional team. They're all part-timers. Their coach isn't a full-timer. And any sort of structure they build is very part-timer. Whereas if you go to France, everybody's professional, down from the tea lady to the top. When you play teams like that, they're going to be more constructed. They're going to know their positions. They're going to know what they're doing. Breaking a team down with speed like that is not going to work, because they're going to be more formulated. That's where you need players like Phil Foden.
Okay.
Help break teams down. Is he really needed in a game where a fast winger is going to tear their left back or right back to absolute shreds? Is Phil Foden needed?
Phil Foden
Probably
hasn't done it for England yet.
No, he hasn't. But does he ever
No,
play
not
in
really.
position properly for England? He's always thrown out on wide or...
Yeah.
And that's your problem, isn't it?
So-
Southgate doesn't play him the way he plays.
So, going on that predicted team, it's too defensive. Straight away, we're playing against a team.
Definitely.
We're playing against a team, we should be going more attacking, fast players, we'll strip them to pieces. But it's Southgate, so we won't.
I play three at the back. I stick Walker's Kyle Walker in a back three with, if he's fit, Stones and Gay.
Yeah?
I
Why not?
was
And
thinking
then
something
you
similar.
probably are sticking Trent on a
Yeah,
wing
but
back
you're not expecting
position.
him to defend then.
No.
So that's fine.
So
No,
you
there's an overlap.
and he'll probably play well with Saka. So then does Trippier fit into that mould as well? Absolutely.
But I just think we should be going all out. Absolutely hammer them.
But it's Southgate,
I
and he's
know.
boring, and that is why I am not excited for the Euros at all.
So, on that question, are you going to go to bed or are you going to watch the match?
But the reason he's asking is because we are currently at 6:25. I have to be at work by midnight.
So when
So-
we finish the pod, he goes to sleep normally. That's
And
where we're
normally
getting
we'll
at.
finish the pod. I'll transfer all the videos over to my editing, and then I go to bed. There's a good chance that's going to happen tonight because I'm just not excited. If we'd have sacked Southgate and brought in a manager that I genuinely believed in, I would have stayed up and watched it.
Now you say that, Southgate came out and said, if I don't win or that, it'll probably be my last tournament. Now then you hear that the FA are like, even if we do poorly, he'll be offered another contract. And I'm like, if it was me, he should have been sacked after Croatia.
Yep.
He should have been sacked after Italy.
Definitely.
He should have been sacked after France.
Yeah.
And even if he wins this tournament, I'd still sack him. It still goes what I said last week.
What do
He'll
you
win
mean?
it to piss us off.
He'll win it to piss us off. There's the name of the pod.
I hope that he does win it, because I'd love for England to win it. And I'll always back it.
Yeah, but
But I still don't want Southgate going into the World Cup.
if he does win it, he will literally become the most successful England manager of all time.
He won't because it's the Euros and not the
that's
World
true.
Cup.
Yeah, I
But
suppose.
He'll still be knighted.
He'll be up there.
no, we probably would be known as the most successful, a final,
Yeah, fine.
a couple semis,
Not
and
success.
some people would see that as success.
Yes. Losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You're not a porn star if you can only get to a semi.
Although the analogy is horrendous, I actually agree with
See,
you.
the thing is though, if we'd have lost the World Cup semi-final to an Argentina, or Brazil, or a dominant side, yeah, I wouldn't be so pissed off. But it was against the Croatia side that we were definitely better than.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the story of being an England fan is we suffer disappointment, because it's like when we lost to Portugal in 2004, was it? I think it was 2004. Ronaldo, Rooney getting sent off. But Rooney wasn't fit for that tournament anyway, so he shouldn't have been anywhere maybe shouldn't have even gone. I think it was the one where he broke his foot just before.
Bit like Beckham 2 years before.
Yeah.
He met at
So,
Arsenal.
and they say if Rooney was still on the pitch, would we have won it? Now,
No.
yeah, we should have beaten Portugal because I still think to this day Sol Campbell's goal was a perfectly legitimate goal.
Everybody bar the ref thinks that was a perfectly legitimate goal.
And if we'd have beaten them, we'd have probably beaten Greece.
Probably. Would have definitely beaten Greece. 100%.
And I know that
Definitely.
Portugal didn't go and beat Greece, but I think we would have gone and beaten
would have.
Greece.
We would
And
definitely
unfortunately, it's like when we played Euro 96 and we lost on penalties to Germany, it was so close. But, you know,
cheery fella, isn't he?
Gaza had a chance right at the end. And I was listening to Gary Lineker talk about his sporting career in like 1990, and he's not bothered about the missed penalty. He's more bothered about the chance that was missed where he hit the post, and he said he wished he knew which way the ball was going to bounce off the post because he would have moved a yard to the left or a yard to the right so he could have stuck in the rebound. And that's what he spoke to Brian Robson about, and he agreed it was like that moment where it was just so close of what could have been, because even they said if he'd have won that game, they'd have probably gone on and won the whole thing. And it's like we've always just missed out. Like we went 1-0 up against Italy, and we should have absolutely gone for the throttle and gone for it, and it should have gone nowhere near penalties that game.
Speaking of throttle, Saka nearly lost his head because Chiellini dragged his. Have you seen that meme where it comes up and says Chiellini actually saved Saka's life?
Yeah.
And the ball's bouncing in front of a train and he rags him back. It's a good meme, but it does show that it genuinely was a foul.
Yeah.
There was no argument, and he did it on. It was a professional foul.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Did what he had to do.
I'd want the England players to do the exact same foul in that situation.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't piss me off that he made the foul. He just should have been punished.
It annoys me that with VAR it was missed.
No, he was given the foul and they got a yellow card.
He didn't give a foul.
You sure? You got a yellow card and everything for it.
I'm sure he got away with it.
I think the argument was he should have got a red because he was
He definitely
last man
should have
back.
got a red for it.
But one thing
yeah.
I will say, do you think that the usual media hype has put us in a better, like the belief that we should be better than we are? And I saw an interesting argument on Facebook, which I'll go into after I get your answer. So, do you honestly think that we are as good as a nation that we hear every single year? We're one of the best, blah, blah, blah. Do you think we are that good?
I think attacking-wise, I think we are one of the best out there.
The best. We've got the best attack in world football.
Okay.
For me.
So, the reason I bring that up...
But our defence, League One at best.
But we've already said a lot of the teams are the same. Their defence is poor. I think there's a lack of top-class defenders out there in the world at the moment.
Because you're not allowed to defend anymore. You can't tackle, you can't go to ground, you can't use your body. You can do nothing.
VAR is watching your moves and you can't do them little subtle cheating.
But anyway, someone put on Facebook, so obviously immediately you know they're an idiot, that England have always said that they're better than they are. And one of their problems is, the reason we aren't as good is he starts going on about like all the best players from around the world go to Spain, Germany, blah, blah. No English players in Europe. And then he brought up, Hargreaves, and then Owen went to Real Madrid and was on the bench. Beckham went and he was only on the bench.
McManaman.
Yeah, but what I mean is...
Woodgate.
He made out... Hang on. He made out that English players don't go into Europe. Obviously, a few people went, well, Harry Kane just won the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga.
So that was Sancho.
Yeah. But I had to pipe up and I said, okay, so you're saying that we've never been out there. And yet, during the early 90s, David Platt was at Sampdoria. Gascoigne was at Lazio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've
Waddle.
had players all over Europe for years, world-class players, and I'm going to put Gascoigne in world-class, and I don't give a shit. I know what we said about
I
it last
agree.
week, but Gascoigne was phenomenal.
I don't like him as a person, but I agree he was a phenomenal... Try
Phenomenal.
that again. Phenomenal footballer.
Yeah.
Like Maradona.
I
don't like
genuinely haven't
Maradona, but
seen
great footballer.
an English player of that calibre in my life other than him. Ooh. In our lifetime.
I think we could have, but he was stopped for
Okay.
injury. Now, bearing in mind, I'll have watched a lot more of him than either one of you two.
Yeah.
And that's Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
As a youngster, and I know there's people out there that are not going to agree, you didn't watch him.
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere, he, at 19, dominated one of the best Barcelona sides of my lifetime.
Yeah.
And he ran them ragged at 19 years old. Controlled the game. Unbelievable footballer.
Yeah.
Just injuries and glass ankle, it just got to him.
Yeah. He's a fantastic player. I mean, they just had Soccer Aid the other week, and you know what? He can still ball.
Crazy. He's so good. So good. And he could potentially have been the next Paul Gascoigne. But without the beating up his wife and alcohol and drugs and gambling and breaking into Ali McCoy's house and all the rest of it that he did.
So in the game
snares.
that's just going on now, so Slovenia just hit a right ripping shot that hit the post. It was like unbelievable effort.
It's still 1-0 as well.
It's not. Because then they've just had another chance that he hit it and it took a massive deflection and went in. So it's currently Slovenia 1, Denmark 1.
I quite like that. I like a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
A bit of something you maybe didn't expect.
Hopefully it'll be a draw, because it'll be the first draw of the tournament.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So
but
far,
fair enough. Right.
I think on one of the betting things, I did a score, like predicting the results, which way all the games are going to go.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I've got every single one right so far.
This.
That's not what I'm talking about, but...
I know, but we're pushed for time now, so what I'm doing is I'm just holding up to the camera the Sunday League Pundit Show Fantasy Football League, and
We don't know some of these people, so if you're watching it now and you want to tell us, oh, that's me, that'd be good.
yeah, if you wanna give us a shout out, because we're not sure who Ryan is, but he's at the top. Fair play to you, well done. So if you do win, you're going to need to contact us for your prize, and we'll arrange that being sent out to you. But yeah, if anyone wants to get involved,
But there's a long way to go yet.
there's anyone that joins now could still win. Like even if you do wait 3-4 days, you could still win. So what we're going to do is I'm going to re-release the shorts explaining how to get involved with the fantasy league. A good few of you have already got involved, and you know we love you for that. We think it's absolutely brilliant. The more they get involved, the better, really. And
Hopefully you join us again next year for the Premier League one that we'll run.
we're going to run another fantasy football, and it's going to go through the course of next year. We're still yet to work out Tim Rib's forfeit, which we'll do again next year. But yeah,
What? Just my forfeit? Or
just yours.
yeah,
This
just do
year.
my forfeit next year.
Well, if you do that badly again, then yeah, it's embarrassing.
I will, because I hate the fantasy football when it comes to like Premier League. I don't mind doing it for like a Euros, because that's like a month. But when you've got to stay on top of it for
What he's trying to
4
say
months,
is he's
it's
got
got
the
that.
attention span of a gnat.
That's been harsh to that.
It is a bit harsh.
To be
that.
fair, it'll probably help doing this. He'll probably be sorting out his
It'll
team
remind
during
you.
our break.
I've got the pod at Sunday. I'll have to just sort my team out quick. It'll be a reminder every week, so it's actually not too bad. You probably still won't do it, and you'll end up bottom. So I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it.
Yeah.
And in the very, very unlikely event that one of us actually win, the prize will go to the next person.
I'm not giving up my prize.
He's giving up his prize.
You bugger.
He's already got a mug. What more does he want?
He is a mug.
He is a mug. So, thank you very much for joining us. Two of us are going to go and watch the England game, and I'm going to go get some sleep. And we shall see you lovely, lovely people next week. Thank you.